Okay, yesterday we left off with you guys going over these problems on your own. Now it's time to do them together so you can check your answers from yesterday's practice. So the first question you did on your own was negative 2x equals 3x plus 10. So you have two options here. You can either take negative 2x and add 2x to both sides to cancel that out, or you can take the 3x and cancel that by subtracting. So every time you have a practice problem, there's two things you can do. If you want to move the negative 2x to the other side, you can add 2x like this. And if you do that, just be careful, these turn out to be 0, and 2x plus 3x is 5x plus 10. So now if you do it this way, you would have to move the variables to one side and keep the constant numbers on the other side. So if you want to keep the variable where it's at, you can take this 10 and subtract it and get negative 10 equals 5x. And then divide by 5 and you're going to get negative 2 as your answer here. Looking at this problem and solving it differently, if you wanted to keep the negative 2x where it was and move the 3x, we would subtract 3x, because remember, you're always doing the opposite of what's happening to cancel out one of the variables. Negative 2x minus 3x is a negative 5x. So you have negative 5x equals 10. Dividing this by negative 5, you'll get x is equal to negative 2. Same answer, just a different process. Number 2, the first thing I would have to do here in number 2 is distribute. So I'm going to multiply 1/2 by the things on the inside. 1/2 times 6h is 3h, minus 1/2 times 4 is 2. Rewriting the rest of my equation, I have 3h minus 2 equals negative 5h plus 1. I prefer to have a positive number of variables, so I'm going to take this negative 5h and add 5h so I can move them all to the left and have a positive number. 3h plus 5h is 8h's. So I have 8h minus 2 equals 1. I'll add 2 to both sides and get 8h equals 3. Dividing by 8, we're going to get a decimal or a fraction as our answer, and that's okay. I'm going to leave it as 3/8 in fraction form. No need to put that into decimal form. Simplified fractions are good. And then the last one, 10k plus 7 equals negative 3 minus 10k. I'm going to take this minus 10k and add 10k. So I have a positive number of k's. 10k plus 10k is 20k. So I get 20k plus 7 equals negative 3. Now I need to undo the addition, so I'm going to subtract 7 from both sides. And I get 20k equals negative 3 minus 7 more is negative 10. And then when I divide by 20, I get negative 10 20ths, which simplifies to be negative 1/2. You can leave it in fraction form. Decimal form is fine as well. And then if we look at the last problem, it's a word problem. It tells us that Raul has saved $640 and Jamie has $320 saved. They each begin a new job on the same day and save all of their money. Raul earns $180 per day and Jamie earns $200 per day. In how many days will they have an equal amount of money? All right, so let's write this down. Let's figure out all of Raul's money. He has $640 saved at first, plus he makes $180 per day. So if I use 640 plus 180x, where x is the number of days, then that expression represents Raul's money. And then for Jamie, if he or she is starting a new job but has $320 saved already, plus she earns $200 per day, that would be $320 plus 200x. We want to know when they will have an equal amount of money in how many days. So what we will do is take these two equations and set them, or take these two expressions and set them equal to each other. So I have this equation here. I'm going to take the 180x and move it to the right-hand side by subtracting 180x. When I do that, I'm left with 640 equals 320 plus 20x. Now I am going to subtract 320, and I get 320, since 640 minus 320 is 320. 320 equals 20x. And then I'll divide by 20. And 320 divided by 20 is 16. So that means that 16 days, they will have an equal amount of money. And to figure out how much money they would have, you would just do, like for Raul, you would do 640 plus 180 times 16. And 180 times 16 plus 640 is $3,520 they would have at 16 days. Both of them would. All right, now it's time to move on to the next section. Section 1.3, solving equations with variables on both sides, day 2. Now we are going to look at linear equations that don't have just one solution. So far, all of the ones we saw had exactly one solution. But there's 2 other types of equations that have different solutions. One of them is infinite solutions. This is when equations are equal and they are always true. So infinite solutions are when equations are equal and true. An example could be like 2x plus 1 equals 2x plus 1. If you ever have a problem and you see that the equations are exactly the same, like 2x plus 1 equals 2x plus 1, the solution is infinite solutions. Every single value of x will work for this problem, and every single value of x will make this true. No solution is when the equations are not equal. Or true. This could be like 2x plus 1 equals 2x plus 4. This is not true. 2x plus 1 is not going to be equal to 2x plus 4. Because if we were to solve this by subtracting 2x from both sides, we would get 1 equals 4, and that is not true. So when we're looking at these examples are going to be different because they are going to have either infinite solutions or no solution. Or some of them might have one solution, we'll say. So for A, the first thing I would do for A is multiply everything by 3. 3 times 5x is 15x, plus 3 times 2 is 6. I have the equation 15x plus 6 equals 15x. If I were to solve this, I would subtract 15x to move it all to one side, and I quickly realized that they cancel out. So I'm left with 6 on the left-hand side, and 15x minus 15x is 0. I'm left with a false statement. 6 does not equal 2. Because it does not equal 2, that means that this has no solution. The next one. First thing I'm going to do is distribute again. Negative 2 times 4y is negative 8y. Negative 2 times 1 is going to be a negative 2. So I have negative 8y minus 2 equals negative 8y minus 2. I can already see these equations are exactly the same. So I can probably already guess that my answer is going to be infinite solutions. But technically, if you wanted to go ahead and solve, you would add 8y to both sides, and you'd be left with a true statement that negative 2 equals negative 2, and that's true, which means the answer is infinite solutions. Sorry, my board's acting a little strange, which is why my handwriting looks so sloppy. All right, on the back, there are 4 practice problems. What I want you guys to do is please stop the video and try the 4 practice problems on the back.